GWR 4200 class is a class of 105 280T steam locomotives designed by George Jackson Churchward and built from 1910 and 1923. They had 4-foot 7.5-inch drivers, were 40 feet 9 inches long, 8 feet 11 inches wide, and 12 feet 10 and a bit inches tall, weighing 81 tons. They had the capacity for up to 4 tons of coal, depending on the version, and 1,800 gallons of water to fuel the 200 psi GWR standard number 4 boiler, which drove the two outside 18.5 by 30 inch cylinders. Their 31,459 pounds of tractive effort classified them as D for the GWR, 7F for British Railways. They had a red GWR axle load. Most were built into new classes in the 30s, but the main withdrawal was in the early 60s. 14 were rebuilt to 7200 class tank engines. When the Great Western Railway took over operations and then just outright absorbed the railways of South Wales, which was defined by heavy coal trains on sharp, steep, and undulating tracks, the GWR had to adapt to South Wales style of locomotives. Railways like the Taff Vale preferred the 062 Taffy tanks, which gave maximum tractive effort whilst providing a good ride. However, the coal trains began to increase in size, and the GWR needed a more powerful engine for the heavy but short hauls. The 2800 class 280 tender engines were too big and awkward, so in 1906, George Jackson Churchward adopted the design, first proposing a 282T Mikado tank, and then eventually the first 280 consolidation tank. The reason, by the way, the Mikados were canned was due to concerns over the long rigid frames not being able to handle the curves on the valleys of South Wales. Churchward upgraded the power of the design, modding the frames to hold the standard number 4 boiler over the 2800 standard number 1. Other modifications included thinner flanges on the second and third driver, and the coupling rods on the third and fourth wheels use spherical joints, allowing for side play and therefore flexibility in operations. The first one, number 4201, was outshopped from Swindon Works in 1910. They were capable of negotiating 130-foot radius curves. With production beginning in full by 1912, the first batch, 4202 to 4221, had top feed boilers and curved upper bodies to their coal bunkers, different from the prototype straight bunker. They worked over 1,000 tons through the valleys of South Wales, from coal mines to ports. Large boilers and restricted loading gauges resulted in narrow side tanks. Although passing numerous water stops along the routes, the class used a lot of water, and the limited tank capacity gave them their ironic nickname, water carts. 105 locomotives were built by 1923. In 1919, the second batch was built. The coal bunker was built 6 inches taller, giving it the increased coal capacity to the mentioned above 4 tons. They tended to hover between 3 and 3.5 otherwise. In 1921, the GWR ran out of allocation numbers, and at the same time, they went through the first major rebuild, increasing cylinder dimension to increase tractive effort. All these mods created the distinctive 5205 class, which will have their own video. The 1929 stock market crash saw a downturn of coal exports. A number of 4200s that had been returned to Swindon for overhaul ended up being stored there. Charles Collett altered them into 282Ts, bringing the design full circle, to increase their availability. These became the 7200 class. Again, another video. Most of the 4200s will be upgraded to 5205s later on. All but one, 4224, passed into BR ownership. 4224 was withdrawn in February 1959 when steam ended on the former GWR systems. 18 were still working at the start of 1965, and these were withdrawn in 1965. The last, 4268, withdrawn in August. 5 have been reserved, all rescued from Bury Scrapyard, and 3 of them have run in preservation. They are 4247 at the East Somerset Railway. She is in 5205 class condition, having outside steam pipes but straight footplate, and is the oldest survivor. 4248 at the Swindon Steam Railway Museum in 5205 condition, and is conserved but not restored, dismantled as if it was at Swindon Works. 4253 at the Kent and East Sussex Railway in 5275 condition and under restoration. 4270 at the Gloucestershire-Warwickshire Railway, still in mostly original condition, she's stored and awaiting overhaul. And finally, 4277 Hercules at Dartmouth Steam Railway, also in original condition and is operational, but the name is not original. Well, there's a look at the GWR's first 280T tank design. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.